All right. So again, want to say thanks so much everybody for taking the time to jump into our Saturday AMA here with OpCat. And again, I really want a big shout out and big thank you to everybody from the OpCat community for understanding, the delay on the AMA from yesterday to today. So yeah, I wanted to start with that. OpCat launched on the 20th of January, and as you heard myself and President kind of joking, I can't believe it's only been 2 weeks because you guys have been on every space with us on Kid and Wallet Show. It seems like for the past month, but I know it hasn't been that case. But I love the narrative as OpCat, aka Satoshi's cat, aka an opcode, which is an operation code hidden from the original Bitcoin scripting system that was written from Satoshi Nakamoto. And then in 2010, due to arising security concerns about that code, it was disabled. And, with the recent growth of the Bitcoin network, with things coming into play like ordinals, BRC20 tokens, and increased transaction rates that we're seeing, people have started to kind of reopen this discussion in terms of what that hidden line of code could do in terms of functionality, security, as well as scalability on the transaction and payment side of the Bitcoin network. So again, with what we've seen with these ETFs, with the real kind of Web 2 conversation growing around Bitcoin, the numbers on some of these ETFs are hitting the $5 to $20 billion range at this point. Bitcoin is a conversation that is going to be in the masses and in the normal kind of households moving forward. And these guys are looking to ingrain kind of their meme within that side of the equation. So like I said, it's definitely a different approach. And that's why I really connected with these guys. They launched at only, I think it was 15K starting cap on Ethereum. So that's about 5 ETH starting LP. And then they ran up to just under 800,000 all-time high. But they have been very consistently bouncing between that 2 to 300 range for the last almost week or so. And, it's great. The community is active. They have VC running consistently. They're growing up their PFP and their little army over there. And again, I like the narrative. You guys are taking the road less traveled. And I'm really hoping that as people can kind of come in and as the crypto adoption starts to go, you guys can take off and solidify yourself as a solid meme community in the space. So yeah, again, really love the narrative here. Like that you're not just chasing high blood, like that you're not just kind of catering to those, fly by night metas that pop up. There's a lot of depth to this, so I'm really excited, to actually start to peel back some of the layers, maybe go into a little bit more detail that we haven't even covered in some of these spaces, man. So again, I can't wait. Make sure that you guys are following along on the website throughout the AMA because there is a lot of detail that you may miss and some pretty cool little breadcrumbs to find. So yeah, President, really excited to have you here, man. Again, thank you so much for understanding yesterday. Energy level is definitely back to where I want it for these AMAs today. So yeah, let's get it going. I'll throw you the mic. I'd love to have you introduce yourself.
Perfect. No, thanks very much for having us. And listen, you've got to get your rest, Maurice. I follow you everywhere on the spaces. Obviously, you've heard of OpCat for so long now. I think we was on the Coin Merge AMA together. I think we've been on 5 or 6 Kid and Walt shows now. Obviously, I was co-hosting it the other night. So yeah, let's take a deep dive into it. First, I'm known as President T1. I'm the developer of OpCat, and let me just say, so we launched on the 20th of January, and we actually hit a 1.1 million all-time high, Maurice. I don't know if you want to change a couple of bits of information there.
I was trying to guess what I was trying to do the chart reading, and based on what it was sitting at around 300, did my multiplication. Yeah. And yeah, I guess I wasn't very good at math.
No, but all good, all good. And obviously that's going to be a distant memory once people take a deep dive into this. But I want to give a shout out to everybody here and everyone joining. A big shout out to our community. And I don't even like saying community these days because everybody here, I like to say everybody is president here. It's not just me running this, the community is absolutely solid. We are growing every single day. And obviously sometimes I need my sleep. So I must sleep about 3 hours a night. but I wake up in the morning, everybody is super active in the chat, everyone's getting all the VCs open, organizing influencers to come and speak to, bringing in the discussion and the debates for OpCat, bringing people over from Twitter, X, there's so much hype and so much viralness at the minute going around of OpCat code, how to implement it. And let me just tell you, people, some of the stuff that I'm going to read out now is quite a lot to take in, but there's so much more to this. You know, I've just broke it down into chunks so we can get you over to the TG. You can read the mediums, you can read the articles, the online discussions, and it is just crazy. But as we said, 20th of January, we launched, went to a 1.1 million all-time high. And we've been sitting at around 200 to 400. So it's like 400 range for the last week. And yeah, it's madness because people come into our chat not really understanding the narrative that we've got here. Obviously, listen, it's Satoshi's vision, right? OpCat code. If you don't know about the OpCat code, I'm obviously going to tell you some stuff and read some articles out and read some of my notes. But it is amazing when you peel back the meme value of us. Obviously, the graphics, the cat with the hat, and stuff like that. We always kid about that on the Kid and Walt show, and that wasn't purpose. That was just, you know, part of our graphics. But when you peel back the layers of the meme coin, it's got so much substance, and narrative really speaks for itself. It's really incredible found here. I've actually been sitting on this project for 2 months. And the Bitcoin halving is going to be playing a big part in this as well. I think we're down to 68 days until the Bitcoin halving now. So let me just go ahead and read some articles and some notes that I've got here. And then after I take a little break from reading the notes, I'll give you a little bit of background of my journey through the crypto space and just a little bit of a background. But okay, let me just start. So let's talk about something that's been stirring the pot in the Bitcoin community, OpCat. And it's op_cat, and that is hidden code. So for those out of the loop, opcat is an opcode that was originally part of Bitcoin's scripting language, but got disabled by Satoshi Nakamoto back in 2010 due to security concerns. So fast forward to now, and there's a growing conversation about bringing it back through a soft. Okay, so let's touch on enhanced security. Imagine having a safety net where your Bitcoin could return to a safe address if someone got their hands on your seed keys. Obviously, theft prevention, massive. If someone got your seed keys for whatever reason and they went to send it to their wallet or to a specific wallet, it would actually bypass their wallet and get sent to a safe address, which you can reclaim back. Okay, so that's a big deal, right? So when you talk about Satoshi Nakamoto disabling it for security concerns, re-enabling it now actually boosts the security and stops theft prevention, prevents theft. Okay, so let's talk about more control. With OpCat, we could see allow lists for wallets, making Bitcoin transactions more secure and personalized. And then it brings it to the main thing, what I'm really interested in is the innovation. It opens the door for creating layer 2 solutions and bridges to other chains, potentially solving scalability issues. All right, what's the vibe? The community is divided. Some see it as a step forward, aligning with Satoshi's vision of a programmable money layer. Others caution against altering the foundational script, fearing it could compromise Bitcoin's stability and security. So obviously, like, and this is what I say, when you have people coming into our TG, the debate are amazing because there's no right or wrong at the minute. Everyone's still trying to crack the code and find that safe way of how to re-enable it. But it is just incredible. We've got some people over from Twitter that we see that was having a debate about it. Went into all the forums, went into Reddit, and we've got them all over, everybody on the VC. And honestly, what we're creating here as well, obviously the narrative, Satoshi, right, and the mean value, etc. But the vibe that we're creating in here is incredible. Our community, everyone is just chilling in the VC. Obviously, we're getting serious about the OpCat code, but I'm telling you now, this community is one of the most chilled communities that I've ever been in. Everyone vibing, telling their life stories, telling their crypto journeys, and it's just so refreshing to see. I remember Dr. Squid speaking about it on the Kid and Walt show. I think it was on Thursday or maybe on Sunday, and we were just saying, like, there's so many people out there who get greedy in this space, and it's all about one project. There's so much liquid in this space that everyone can win. And my biggest mission is to bring everybody with me, no matter how big your wallets are, how small your wallets are, how long you've spent in the space. This is like we're bringing everybody in, teaching them about the narrative as well. Because listen, when you go back to 2008 when Bitcoin was launched, and 2010 when the opcat code was actually disabled, and that is just from someone's perspective as well, because I honestly think that was Satoshi Nakamoto with a little trap, letting the institutions, the governments, the banks run away with it, then re-enabling the opcat code in today's date, and building layer twos, you know. And as I say all the time in the community, Satoshi Nakamoto built this crypto space for the people, you know. And as you know, the institutions, banks, governments, they've all got carried away with it, and they're trying to tightly squeeze and kick the small people out. So the biggest part is getting everybody in, getting them to build up their education and understanding on the opcat code. And most of all, everyone who I've met in this community and new members that have come in, it is just such a nice vibe. It's so clean. It's like, and you know what as well, it's hard to FUD. It is literally hard to FUD us, because it's an ongoing debate. There is no right or wrong answer at the minute, for and against. We want to hear everything. We want to hear everybody's discussion. We're creating the platform and the forefront for the opcat code. We want to become the biggest forum for the opcat code. We want to create the person who actually finds that way, that safe way of re-enabling it, and they've come through us, you know. So we're just laying out the foundation for people to come and absorb all the information and research that we found. But let's just talk about the ETFs, right? So both ETFs and the potential re-enablement of opcat have implications for Bitcoin's decentralization. ETFs could affect it from a market perspective, potentially centralizing influence in the hands of large investors. Opcat, meanwhile, touches on the technical side, offering both opportunities and challenges in maintaining Bitcoin's decentralized, secure, and open nature. So it's crazy. So like, I'm going to read something else here as well. We've got the Power AI bot as well, and we've been having some fun in there, and we've been creating discussions and getting some further research. But let me just read something out here. So, opcat is poised for a remarkable journey, tapping into the unexplored potential of Bitcoin's scripting capabilities. By re-enabling opcat, we're on the brink of unlocking advanced functionalities and security measures that could revolutionize Bitcoin transactions. Imagine creating more dynamic governance, enhancing user protection against, as I covered, and facilitating seamless layer 2 bridges. This opcode's reintroduction could herald a new era of scalability and utility, making Bitcoin's network more robust and versatile. As the community debates its implications, the bullish sentiment around opcat grows, promising a future where Bitcoin's foundational technology reaches new heights of innovation and inclusivity. So again, it's a lot to take in. It is a lot to take in. And when we feel like we've hit the nail on the head, something else comes out, we find something else. It's just crazy. And it's like Satoshi Nakamoto's original vision for Bitcoin, as outlined in the Bitcoin white paper, focused on creating a decentralized digital currency that would enable peer-to-peer transactions without the need for a trusted third party. So again, we just keep deep diving into these conversation and research, and it is just incredible what we're finding. And with re-enabling opcat, it can open so many doors, and it's just incredible. But yeah, I could read so many bits of research and information that we found, but you can find so much more on our TG. All you've got to do is ask all the community members to bring up the / commands, because we've saved everything there. And again, it is just crazy. It is just crazy what we have found. As I said, I've been sitting on this for 2 months. I'm not saying I was the sole founder of uncovering this, the opcat code, because the discussions have been going on for a very long time, but it's starting to heat up now, especially with the Bitcoin halving and the bull run in like people say the bull run started. Yeah, I agree to some extent, but me personally, I think this is just the front run stage, and things are about to get heated up for the whole Bitcoin community and crypto space. Again, remember people, there would be no crypto without Satoshi's vision, right? So if there wasn't Bitcoin, there wouldn't be anything else after. That's what I strongly believe. You know, he paved the way for this. Let me just read something else as well before I go back to you, Maurice. Right, so let's talk about BRC20. The introduction of BRC20 tokens, which are a hypothetical token standard similar to Ethereum's ERC20.
Before you get into that, I just wanted to just make a comment on what you said about like the ETFs and like the cycles and stuff like that. Because you know, sometimes it's tough to throw back comments in as we like transition away from that topic. So I do apologize to cut you off, man, but
No,
I just wanted to touch
don't
on that
apologize.
because, when we think about the last cycle, right? Think about like the three kind of main drivers from the meme side of thing, right? You had Floki, Doge, and Shiba, and I'll even
Shiba,
say
yeah.
SafeMoon. SafeMoon was in that category for me too, because
Yeah,
personally that was the play that I bought that first got me into crypto. So
so did I.
I'll put SafeMoon in that category because it did a lot from a retail kind of standpoint. It brought a lot of normies into the space. So yeah, those four memes kind of led that last cycle, right? But if you think about it, we've had, Pepe kind of in the interim, but it didn't start a cycle. And if anything, it kind of really hurt the market for a couple months afterwards because of the amount of, manipulation from institutions and market making and stuff that occurred on that token. It wasn't really a token that was good for retail or good for the everyday user.
Yes.
Right. So I want to kind of just talk to you about how in those past cycles, we've seen these runners, but we haven't really had, anything in the last little while. I mean, I guess Bonk on Solana and Pepe on ETH, but outside of that, nothing's hit 2 billion, right? From a meme perspective. So we're still waiting for those narratives or those plays, and who knows, the communities may already be out there that are going to be the next Shiba, the next Doge, the next Floki in the upcoming cycle, right? So I mean, for me, I think with what we've seen on memes pulling in normal investors during these bulls and during these big ramp up periods, just because of the fact that you guys are kind of connected to the what should be the most talked about form of currency during the ramp up. Like, it's just a really good position, I think, for you guys to be in. And I think from you, if you could just keep building the ground floor, keep growing the value of the community, the strength, the voice of the community, and kind of trying to tie it to that Bitcoin community, like when the cycle happens, like you guys will be very well positioned. So I just wanted to comment on the fact that, in every cycle, there are a number of leaders and drivers that hit those crazy numbers. And I would say Pepe, I don't see Pepe going back to where it was previously. That, as we've learned since, was a pretty big insider kind of play, right? So
I think it went to 1.6 billion, didn't it? The all-time high of Pepe.
1.8, I think. It almost touched 2. And then, I mean, now it got flipped recently by another play that is also not good for the space. So we'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get negative on this space, but sure. But no, I love it because you guys, again, if the narrative, if you guys can keep building that and kind of embed or try and get some traction within the BTC or these ordinals or BRC20 communities, like, again, it's a really unique narrative. And I personally love the narrative that you guys have. And as Bitcoin is the leader, you guys could, drive more onto the narrative of Satoshi's cat, right?
Exactly that. Yeah.
I know your community wanted you to spend some more time talking about in the AMA. So I kind of wanted to give you can get into what you're going to talk about on the ordinals and the BRC20 side, but from there, maybe we'll go into transitioning on how you're going to grow the narrative around being Satoshi's cat, which could be really strong for you guys.
Yeah, and obviously what I'll do after I read this final part, because I don't want everyone to get bored of my voice, and because there's so much information to digest here, it's incredible. But I'll go on to talk about our partnerships as well, and all the progress that we've made, and some of the things that we've got coming up, and I'll get into that. I won't bore you any longer with the articles, but it's just so interesting. This is what perks my ears every time I get this information. I'm just like, wow, I'm literally in awe when I hear this. So so I'll run this last article that we found, this bit of information, then we'll transition over to that. So the introduction of BRC20 tokens, which are a hypothetical token standard similar to Ethereum's ERC20, but for the Bitcoin-related blockchain, could indeed push for innovations and changes in the Bitcoin network to accommodate new functionalities and demands for scalability. If such a scenario were to increase the demand for complex smart contracts and token functionalities on a Bitcoin network, it might lead to discussions around enabling opcodes like opcat to enhance Bitcoin scripting capabilities. So again, it could play a crucial role in this context by allowing for more complex data manipulation and smart contract functionalities, which could be essential for supporting BRC20 tokens or similar innovations. However, enabling opcat and scaling Bitcoin to support such features would require careful consideration of the potential risks and complexities involved, including security concerns and the impact on the network stability. Okay, so that's enough of the articles. As I said, you can come over to the TG and ask as many questions as you want. We've got the Power AI bot. We've got people with ongoing discussions, the for and against, and the debates they're very healthy as well, because everyone in there is just learning and absorbing so much information. So that's enough for the deep dive into the actual re-enabling of opcat. So let me just talk about the partnerships we've got going. So we've just done a partnership with Sentiment AI, and their utility will actually be rolled out within our TG chat over the next 2 days. It could even be tonight, depending on how busy their schedule is. Obviously, we've got Brothers Marketing supporting us. We've got the Kid on Walk partnership as well. They've been supporting us from day one, and we're very, very lucky to have them. You know, likes of yourself, Maurice and Caesar. We've got obviously the Power AI bot, and we've also got a custom AI bot, Talk to opcat, and that will be released over the next 2 days as well. So we've got a lot coming there. Obviously, we're on the Coin Geckos and stuff like that. And this is one thing, what people know about me when they jump into the VCs and know more about me. I don't really care about the ETH trendings as much until it's needed. You know, I'm playing the long game here, you know, and I've got so much patience in me, and this narrative deserves it. This narrative deserves to be taken the right route, because as you said, we're not following no hype. We're not following no meta. You know, we are the first movers. There is going to be more opcat and news. Opcat, you know how this space works. And again, we are just forever building partnerships. I've turned down so many calls when I've reached out to people, and because I want to strike partnerships. I'm not interested in a call. You get a call, they don't interact with the chat, they come into the VCs. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in building this for the long run. And especially with the Bitcoin halving coming up, we're positioning ourselves to be at the forefront of the opcat code discussion and of how to re-enable it. So we've got so much coming, and again, I don't like to be the hype man and like talk about oh, we got this, we got that, because listen, all you got to do is come into our TG and realize, you know, again, a little bit of marketing that I can talk about. We've got some billboards going up around Times Square, the SpaceX, and we're reaching out to a couple of other hotspot locations to build that mass exposure, because that's what we need. We know we want more and more and more people fueling that fire to the discussions, because it's healthy. And as I said, I want to come back to the community. It is amazing. I've been a part of a lot of projects, but again, I'm a developer here, and this is my sole project. And I haven't seen a community like this. It is just fun. It is vibes. And again, like Dr. Squid said, it's like when the fun isn't there anymore, it just becomes tedious. You know, it just becomes work. So it's like we've got some serious goals of where we want to go. And as the days go by, those goals keep getting moved and moved and moved further ahead, because again, I don't want to talk bad about any projects, but some of these projects that hit 100, 200, 300, 400 million, there you just peel back the curtain. There's no substance. So I feel really strong about our narrative. The narrative is there. It's Satoshi's cat. You know, you can't get any more stronger of a narrative than related to the creator of crypto himself. So yeah, it's so far. Look, we're 2 weeks old. We are 2 weeks old. We've got partnerships coming. We've got 3 or 4 partnerships already made. We've already got the Dodge SpaceX, the Sentiment AI, Brothers Marketing are on board, and some big names are on the way. So I don't want to talk too much about ongoing partnerships. I like to just deliver, and you can see what we're actually made of. So I do suggest that people come over to the TG join our spaces, and definitely the Kid and Walt show, and especially with that new slot that you're coming up with. If you're not following these people like Kid and Walt, and if you haven't attended the Kid and Walt show, I suggest you go and do that after this AMA. Give them a follow and reach out and come and join the spaces, because it's amazing what they're doing for the space. And just like yourself and Caesar, it's just amazing. We need more people like that. And yeah, it's just incredible to be a part of the journey and see everything come into play, you know. So yeah, I hope I've covered some things on the actual deep dive into the Opcat code. Obviously, there's so much more information to digest, and it's all going to teach for you to be able to discover. Ask any of our community members, and they'll bring up articles, mediums, screenshots, and we've actually found the full length of the Opcat code. So all you tech geeks out there, I know this will get you excited. So you go over to the TG/Opcat code and yeah, just have a look. And again, everyone is more than welcome to come by. And you know, we just want to hear the debates, we want to hear the discussions, and just come and join the VCs and vibe with us.
I love it, man. So I appreciate that. And again, you know, I know you joked that you didn't want people to get bored, but you know, your energy levels is fantastic. I think it's probably tough for people to get bored, you know, listening to you. And that's why I said it feels like we've been on stage together a lot longer than, you know, just a couple of weeks, right? So, yeah, no, I've always enjoyed chatting with you. You know, the narrative is definitely strong. Walt loves the narrative, you know, for anybody who hasn't clued in on that from the space. You know, the first time we had them on, he was super bullish about the narrative, and you know, you guys hadn't even formed a community really at this point yet. So yeah, no, I like the narrative too. The narrative made sense.
And especially Kid as well, because obviously Walter and Kid, like, they are so similar in some ways, but then they have their differences. Like
Kid really remind me of like me and Caesar. Like Kid is kind of like the professional one. Yeah, you know, very like kind of, he tries to structure the space. You know, he waits for the teams to finish talking to come off mute. And then there's Walt, who's kind of like the Caesar. And he's just like, yeah, baby, let's fucking go. Doesn't even matter. We out here. Just like energy level off the chart. But like, just again, just such a nice, likable guy. But yeah, no, Kid, like there's such a good combination. Again, like that's one of the reasons why I like it. You know, I always joke like, you know, Kid's got the steak and Walt's got the sizzle. If you know that line from I Love You Man on the movie. But yeah. Yeah, no, those guys are awesome. And yeah, I can't wait to try and like, you know, help roll out some additional features with those guys. And just, you know, they earn my respect. Like I don't put my name behind people a lot. You know, when you think about it, like technically like they're competitors, but that's not how I approach the space. Like my approach to crypto and community joint, like building and kind of cross exposure is very different. When I joined in 2021, everything was so siloed. Like if you mentioned another project in a community's Telegram group, you're getting fucking banned. Like you can be like, hey, have we thought about reaching out to this community or this project that could maybe add some value for us? Like banned back in the day. Now it's like, hey, have we thought about maybe collabing or doing this, or these guys are building out this kind of tech that we could maybe leverage or get a spot on their bot, you know, to get more exposure for us, like etc. And then people now are like, oh, do you have the contact? Like, how can we get in touch with them? Like, let's try and move this forward. So what you were kind of saying on the partnerships and the collabs, I am really glad you went into that deeper, because like you're a meme project, right? Like you guys aren't really looking to build up some crazy utility. You have a really solid narrative. And if you can keep focusing on the narrative and growing that, as we said, as the cycle comes up, as Bitcoin, you know, hits the masses and these ETFs kind of get to the stage that a lot of people think they may, well, you guys being embedded within kind of that coding within Satoshi's vision, and then kind of if you can scale out the brand to Satoshi's cat, well, you're well positioned, right? But at the same time, you still may look to want to partner with utility projects to get some rev share options, to maybe get some exposure on certain advertising. Right. So what do you look for from a collaboration standpoint with projects? Or have your community members already come to you and maybe said, hey, President, like, have you guys looked at getting in touch with this community or this project to maybe pull some utility in that can give us some extra traction. I don't know if you guys have started that
Yes,
conversation
yes.
as a group.
Yes, we have. And you know what? I have some people working in the back end, and obviously, out of respect, and I always show my respect before the partnerships are formed. I don't obviously like talking about it, but we've got 2 to 3 big utility plays that we are just putting the final touches to. And you know, there's some really big eyes on us at the minute, and definitely. You know what? When we was in the Kid and Walk show the other day, I don't know if this is correct saying it, but you know, Mars, who was on the co-host, is it CEO of the Mars project? I don't know if you know.
The
Yes, so
Mark
he
Swap
actually,
on Shibarium? That one?
yeah, I'm not too sure, but he
Oh
actually,
no, Mars Pepe15, I think his username is on Twitter. That guy from
yes,
Pinwalt Show. Okay, yeah, I know who you're
yes.
talking about that.
Yeah, so he actually mentioned about and I know at the minute being a 2-week-old project that this seems a bit far-fetched, but he actually mentioned building a BVM on top of an EVM, right? So obviously I had to take some time out and proper research it, but you know, that's something else that we've been talking about. Yeah, I know it's going to be a costly process and time consuming, but again, he mentioned the BVMs on top of the EVMs, and it's very interesting. Also, Papa Stonks actually made a suggestion talking about the ordinals, as you mentioned before the show. So there is coming back to the partnerships. Yeah, we've been reaching out to some seriously big projects about doing what you said, the revenue shares and the advertisements and stuff like that. I'll give you a little hint because it's done, but we're waiting to announce it. But one of the projects that we are partnering with and announcing it over the weekend is sitting on a 75, maybe 90 million market cap. So we will be announcing that shortly, and that was brought to us as well. And let me just say something as well. The people that we've been partnering with have actually reached out to us. So that's, you know, it's a quite rare thing to do where I don't actually have to chase these partnerships. Obviously, I've got my eyes on a couple, which will do the narrative some justice, you know, because I've actually turned down partnerships because what they actually have as a utility is so far away from the narrative itself. So, you know, I've actually turned down things because I want to keep it very close to the opcat code and the re-enablement and the layer 2s, etc., etc. So, yeah, that is a discussion that we've been talking about. And honestly, with the community that we've got, it's like they start off as, oh, this is just a meme coin. And as the days go by, they are fully embedded in pushing a narrative and getting that person to re-enable the opcat code. Who knows? It might be one of us. You know, that's why we are literally, think of us as an AI bot like Power AI. You know, we are just feeding the community with so much research and adding to the discussion, bringing in people, very high intelligent people talking about the opcode and bringing them into our space. And we tell people, we're not just trying to get you over here to load up your bags and blind ape. We want you to come through, judge the community, research the narrative, add your value to the discussion, and again, be the forefront of the opcat code re-enablement. So yeah, it's one of the things that we have been talking about is partnering with these big plays at the minute. And you know, some of these influencers are actually been reaching out to me, just giving me advice, you know, and it's so nice to see. They're coming through into my DMs. They're saying, I don't want nothing from you. I just love how refreshing that you're doing this with your community. And I'm here to help. If you need any advice, just give me a shout and I can assist you. So yeah, it's the journey so far, 2 weeks, and we're getting this kind of recognition and some of the big eyes on us just coming to help us because they see we're doing it right. We're not chasing, you know, we're taking our time, building the partnerships and just trying to make people feel safe because it's a weird space at the minute. You know, there's a rug and scam every 10 seconds in this space. So we're just showing you that there is real devs out here that care about the people and want everyone to win. And that's my biggest motto. You know, I want everyone to win with me. So, yeah, the partnerships are being made. And when you touched on the revenue share, that's a hint as well, because that is going to be one of our big utility things that we partnered with. So, yeah, we're forever growing and forever creating partnerships for the long run. You know, I'm creating partnerships for 6 months at a time. You know, I'm not playing about in terms of getting one shout out. That's just not my nature. So, yeah, we got some big things coming.
I'm excited, man. So, like, what's the? I mean, for me, I think for people to maybe easily digest, if we're talking to normies or, you know, non-crypto users, some kind of a storyboard, a comic book series, something like that, creating the narrative and the story of Satoshi's cat through the hidden line of code.
Yes.
Operation Cat, what was that movie that came out recently? That Argyle one. I don't know. Secret Agent Argyle or something. It's about a cat. And it's like a cat's like a secret agent. There's a bunch of big name stars in it. I don't really watch TV that often, so I don't see commercials anymore. I would just kind of watch like streaming services, so they don't have the commercials. But yeah, I think it was like Operation Argyle was the name of the movie, and it was a secret agent cat, and I don't really know. That's all I know. But you guys could create kind of like your own like secret agent, like kind of like Satoshi's cat could be like a secret agent. It could be like, hidden in the code. And it was like, it's just really cool. Like you could develop a story and a character base and, really have fun with it. Right. So
of course, that's the main thing as well. That is the main thing that I push, to have fun with it. And I know we've got a lot of people in here from the community, obviously. So they'll all be taking notes and bringing that up in the VC after the AMA.
I can't, I can't wait to see what you guys end up going with in terms of the growth and the journey for OpCat, because, the narrative, like I said, the narrative's really embedded within crypto and DeFi from a coding perspective. So for any of those like, maxis out there or really like nerdy, I personally love the story. So I would put myself in that nerdy bucket for sure. But people who are kind of like really into that lore and that like element of it, I think really would connect to your project. And again, as you build out stuff that's easier to approach for like non-crypto people or Web 2 users, from like the comic book, the storytelling aspect really could, take off. And, it's one of the few that you can genuinely like I play Fortnite, so like the lore of Fortnite is kind of like with the society and the agents and the secret, and like they have cats that are characters in Fortnite. Like Meowth was like what, or Meowth, that's a Pokemon.
The big one, the muscles,
the big cat, the big Meowscles, I think his name was, or something like that. But that dude was like a secret agent cat. So like, again, very, very future focused. But if crypto becomes more heavily involved or heavily adopted in the next cycle, games will, I'm assuming, look to either like probably like main alts, but games may even look to incorporate some form of crypto payment in the future. We're talking about like traditional games, like console games and stuff like that. So I just think like you guys could, because of the narrative embedded in the code, you have a character. Like cats are notoriously sneaky, kind of in a sense. So the whole secret agent would be a great fit. Or like, so like personally, it's all about how you can connect it and grow and continue to tell the story. Memes are successful because of storytelling. Right.
And of course, because because it's Satoshi's vision, it's just like the amount of let me just say, so the meme is basically like our marketing, because of Satoshi's vision, because of the OpCat code, because of the Bitcoin halving coming up, and definitely we've got some seriously talented content creators. So we'll definitely be touching on something like that and showing out and playing the journey of the whole journey of 2008 to 2010 when it got disabled, and now fast forward to 2024 and trying to re-enable it. So definitely that's a good shout. I'll be speaking to my content creators about that for sure.
I love it. So we've spent a good amount of time talking about the narrative. Personally, it's super strong. I can't wait to see how you guys decide to spin that off into some project specific lore or partnership utility. I would consider, I don't know if Johnny Dapp or the team from Meme Alliance, but we got them in touch with I think it was through KidWalt or through CoinMerge, but we brought Johnny and his team on for Meme Alliance while Sharby was in, and they're building up a really impressive looking like first person shooter, but geared towards like memes or projects. So they came on stage with us. They liked Sharby. They hadn't had a female character yet within the game, so they decided to partner with Sharby. They're building out a Sharby character. I mean, like, you guys could maybe look to get, I could put you in touch with Johnny for sure. I don't know if they
Definitely.
need a certain cap or anything to be hit, but I think your narrative is really strong. So I think just having having Satoshi's cat in the game could be pretty cool, I think, for
Yes,
them as
yes,
well.
yes.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
no,
put you in
that'd be,
touch with
yeah.
Johnny. I think
Put me
that
in
could be
touch.
good
Yeah.
to kind of get some extra exposure within a good network. And I just
Yes.
really like him. He's a genuine guy, hard worker. They've been
That's what
building
it's
this
all
for like
about.
8 months, I think now. So
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah. If you could do that, that would be great because, like I think when we were talking as well, there's you just want to build this space stronger and connect with those like-minded people that are doing good for the space. That's my biggest thing. And I've seen a lot of people come through to the community and they've been sharing their stories about this, and they said to me, like, I've never felt so safe in a project. And when you say to me about hitting certain caps, throw it my way, because any target that you chuck at us, we will be reaching. So I'll be looking forward to that conversation. Definitely.
Awesome, man. Personally, yeah, no, like that one. Now I did want to go into a little bit on the kind of the ordinals or the BRC20 side, and like just why you guys decided to launch on Ethereum versus maybe trying to
Is that
push it
your signal,
towards.
Maurice, or is it mine?
What's up?
We've got Jay Lat here as well, so he's put his hand up. If I'll leave and come back just to make sure it's not mine. Very embarrassing, but let me just.
Can I say something, President? And can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, Jaylat?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on while he's sorting out that technical issue or whatever. It's as far as the narrative with this and building on, the way I see it is like the way the space is going, devs are having to run their own projects, and devs just want to dev, not do all the other stuff. And then you've got people. It's the whole, like, the dev is deving, how you get the innovation, but it's very hard because, like, people, it's all insiders and reputation. So devs don't really get to dev like a non-dev. And this is the thing. I think we can set up the discussion and to know there's a community and people are learning and exploring the type of, because for people to enable opcat to do it properly, it is going to be big players in the space that are going to have to be fully regulated. So that means that's like a lengthy process. It's like my mate was saying on the ordinals, there was a project, I think Quantum Cats, and it's all like MIT guys, but they can't even launch it. They've tried 3 times and failed. And then another project come out called Quantum Rats. So it's like the front run opportunity because they're strangled by the regulation. So by us talking about opcat, it could encourage people to think, do you know what? I can soft fork Bitcoin and imagine 1-for-1 in everyone on Bitcoin and just forking it that way. And then it's the money, the revenue off dexes and things like that. And to someone to do it anon would absolutely kill it, like Pancake Swap and things like that. I'm sure he was anon, wasn't he? There's room for massive gains, isn't there? From small individuals front running, using the tech what's out there.
I'm back. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Apologize for that. I don't know. It must have been my signal, so apologies.
No, we got you. Hopefully, I'm not sounding like a robot as well, from my end anymore. But yeah, no. So I was
you work like a robot, bro. So I wouldn't put it past you.
So yeah, I wanted to just ask on the chain selection side. Obviously, with it having some connections to Bitcoin, and we touched on the BRC20 aspect. Like, why ETH versus BRC20 as a token itself? I mean, volume makes sense, but outside of that, just kind of furthering the connection to the lore. That was really more so my question.
Yeah, so obviously the Ethereum blockchain is like we potentially in the future, once the re-enablement of opcat is implemented, there's been talks within the community about running alongside on a BRC20, but obviously, you know, it's still got to get there. We still got to get there. But, you know, as Elon says, it's the irony. It's irony of it's the irony of being on the Ethereum, and the whole discussion and the whole project is about the Bitcoin opcat code. So, you know, everybody loves a bit of irony, and we're looking to expand in the future. Obviously, we're 2 weeks old, so we're still getting our feet into the actual discussion and how to re-implement it. But we're as I said, we've been looking at the ordinals, we've been looking at the BVMs on top of the EVMs. So it's something that we've got on the back burner at the minute, and we're speaking to some really, really strong people who can direct us in the right direction. Just like the Mars CEO, if that's correct, how I'm saying his name. But yeah, there's some big topics going on behind the scenes, but we just keep our feet into the ground and building that foundation up before we think a little bit too far ahead of us right now. I think it's definitely something that's going to be coming, because obviously it's the narrative. It supports it and gives it justice as being the Bitcoin opcat code. So yes, that's something that we've definitely been speaking about behind the scenes.
Awesome. Now, kind of moving into like the marketing, the growth, like what are you guys planning over the next couple of weeks? I know we're only 2 weeks in right now, but you know, walk us through maybe kind of the midway point of February and what that looks like for the community.
Okay, so the marketing that we've got coming up, I hope everyone can hear me because you sounded like a robot again, but just interrupt me if you can't hear me. And so basically what we've got rolling out is we've got 4 or 5 more partnerships incoming. Obviously, I'm putting some final touches to the partnerships that we've got in discussions in the back end. And we are in the billboards up because obviously mass exposure. That is what we're going for here now, mass exposure, to get everybody through to the TG page so they can learn more about opcat code. We've got some, obviously we're doing the X Auto Radar out there as well, getting more influencer coming in. We've been speaking to Jake Gaggan as well. One of our team members have been organising that, but obviously once you get to a higher market cap, then we'll be bringing in the big players. We're trying to get the attention of Rodney as well, so he can make a video on the opcat journey, and it kind of goes in with what you were saying. If we can get some content for like the comic book you were talking about, and the cat Argyle, I think you said, or something like that, we'll be creating some cool content to push out on one of these videos. Again, just more and more partnerships and more spaces with Kid and Walt and people like yourself and Caesar, and just getting the word out there. I could do the rest in the back end. As I said, if you know me, my story in the TG, I come from a DNA epigenetics background. I've been building big projects, battling the pharmaceutical companies for the last 7 years. So I'm the head of marketing over there. So I've got a lot of Ethereum for marketing that's out of my own pocket, because obviously we're a 0 tax project, and I'm adding to liquidity, burning the lick. And yeah, I'm just putting my money where my mouth is, and just pushing those boundaries and showing other projects that you can really do this. Showing up and being transparent and being genuine and building a community, and especially with this narrative, it deserves it. You know, it's very, very, very hard not to go all in with a narrative like this, you know. So again, I've been sitting on this project for the last 2 months, and we're coming up to 2 weeks now, and we're just about to start pressing some serious buttons with our marketing. We've got articles going out within the Yahoo Finance and crypto shows. I've actually reached out to Crypto Banter as well, trying to get a 15-minute segment on there talking about the opcat code. I reached out to some other crypto shows, trying to get the attention of George as well from Cryptos R Us, if that's how you pronounce it, and and some other crypto shows. So we're just going for mass exposure with the billboards, the QR code on the billboard, getting people over to the TG, getting all the people over that are having healthy discussions about the opcat code, and even the people having negative discussions. We're getting them all over here, just to add to the discussions and the debate. We're trying to get David Gockenstein to host of spaces as well, and get him involved, and obviously just to use his knowledge about the space, and get people's attention, because we're going after the big players in the space, because again, it's Satoshi. It's Satoshi's vision. It's the original Bitcoin scripting system, and a lot of people don't know about this. So we're going to be the people at the forefront pushing the narrative and getting the people into our group and fueling the fire for the discussion. So a lot of marketing is being rolled out within the next 6 or 7 days. As I keep going back to, the partnerships are going to be a big deal for us because we'll be using their platforms to get the word out. We've got a lot of people working behind the scenes as well. A couple of people want to stay anonymous and they're big names in the space. They said they pop up every now and then, but yeah, I won't give too much away. Building those partnerships and pushing out the marketing. As I said, I've got a lot of Ethereum. Crypto's been very good to me. I was in early on the Dodge, the Quants. It's a lot of incubators and XRP, obviously. So I'm just putting my money where my mouth is, and this is my sole project. You know, I'm a whale in a lot of projects, but it was time for me when I found this narrative to put my money where my mouth is and push this and get it out there, because the re-enabling of the opcat code is big for everybody.
No, I can, you know, like I said, that the code, the narrative, like where you guys kind of took this from, you know, really makes sense. It's different. You know, there's not a competing narrative in a sense out there in the space. So, you know, it's definitely the road less traveled. You know, you're not able to capitalize on that free volume and that free hype that you see maybe some of these copycats or knockoffs, you know, take advantage of. But at the same time, you know, we see meme coins that stay true, community keeps building. You know, if the narrative is there and you guys can stay behind it for a long enough time, meme coins still can have that big pump, you know, if the community stays behind it, kind of, right? So like, yeah, the narrative is really good. It's just not really chasing the hype. It's not on like really the kind of the volume driving chain right now, which is Sol. Personally, I don't like Sol that much, but I mean, it is what it is. It's cheaper fees, so I get why people like to trade on it. You can get in and out of a coin 8 times without having to pay anything extra in a day. Like realistically, it's great for scalping, but it's not good for building long term.
Yeah,
Talking about, yeah, you know, memes or sustainability. So yeah, man, like again, like what you're doing, like the narrative. In terms of kind of like what you mentioned is upcoming, that's you know, obviously exciting stuff for the community, and I like some of the comic and, you know, narrative stuff that you guys can make to further connect to people on, you know, Web2. So yeah, man, it's all about the narrative. It's all about storytelling with something like this, and you guys do have, you know, a very unique story to tell that has roots within like the overall or the deeper crypto community. So yeah, again, you know, first time working with you as a team, but you know, like what you're doing, like the narrative, and again, you know, just make sure everybody, you jump into the community, you do that research, you pay attention to updates that these guys are releasing. But you know, it's yeah, been really enjoyable to share the stage with you on some of the spaces and kind of peeling back the layer on the narrative and, you know, understanding a little bit on what you hope to accomplish and what the community can maybe add to leverage that, or some of the ways that partnerships can help you guys get there. It's really good for me. So, you know, I like it. NFTs, I guess, would be another thing I wanted to touch on with you a little bit. Like if you guys plan on rolling out some ordinal based NFTs in the future. If you guys can start maybe with some ETH based, and then, you know, walk us through the NFTs. I think it's a good fit here.
Yeah, 100%. And we've been actually today, that's most of our topic that we've been talking about, because people have been touching on the ordinals. And yeah, that's one of the discussions that we've been talking about earlier with JLat and one of our other members, Fanboy. And they actually went and purchased some one-of-one Bitcoin NFTs. I think, JLat, you can explain a little bit more about those if we've got time, Maurice. Is that okay?
No, I don't hard cap these maze, man. So you know that. Jump in.
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all good.
Clear.
Yeah, so basically my friend is big in ETH NFTs, and he's gone over to and been early in a lot of big projects and really done the deep dive on the whole infrastructure in terms of who's behind opcat, what the game at play is in terms of control, then what it's going to take for regulation and to front run and the whole dynamic of it. And he was teaching and educating in the community how to just inscribe. And one of the well, Fanboy, he did an image, and the cost was going to be $6,000. So it goes off the weight of the image. That's why they pixelate it. It's the interesting thing I got from it was that, yeah, you can put stuff on there, but it's the power play at hand in terms of who's gonna force the change to get this like as fast as it could. Think about it, all the tech, Bitcoin was launched and everything's been launched after, what's all added to the development of crypto, what Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin could play the move with this fork, whoever does it, to take all that tech and create the best chain, and it's Bitcoin. So like if we can be pushing the discussion, and people think that they can try, can't they? Do you know what I mean? And you got a community that can support things and build something out. And like he said, a lot of the inscription projects, the way to do it is to give out things for free, because then you're giving free value, what people see that as a gift, and then it's just a positive vibe, isn't it? You're giving out things for free, and value's coming back. It's just like that's the movement. It's, to me, that's real crypto.
And again, it supports Satoshi's original vision as well. He did this for the people, and I think the space is getting a bit overrun at the minute to the banks, the institutions, and the government trying to reclaim that ownership and be the ones that are in control. So yeah, we've been definitely been looking about these NFTs and the ordinals. It's so interesting.
It's the regulation, isn't it, of these
Yeah.
guys? Like they can think, right, we're gonna push Opcat with all our money and have they've got founders of Ethereum for it. This is how big it is, but the regulation they're gonna need, because they could get billions. Imagine if they airdrop everyone on Bitcoin, everyone that holds Bitcoin, you get a 1-for-1. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a fork like that. The volume, if you've got a network that can be traded with the best ingredients of all the blockchains what are available. But this is the thing, it's the front run opportunity where it goes back to the people by someone like that project, Quantum Cats, and then you had Quantum Rats. The Quantum Rats is popping, and it's just it's a meme of these MIT guys, because they're strangled by regulation. Like we can have it where the community is building, and that's the utility. Everyone just like creating their own value. So it's not, because if it's all on the team, it's unsustainable. Do you know what I mean? We want to, like, I'm a community member, but I can see the vision of having a place where everyone can just build and create their own value, and everyone wins.
I like that. Kind of utilizing the strength of the community to build that out is good. Now, you guys kind of kick the tires on, how many might be, if it's going to be something more, split collection in terms of some exclusive for holders of the token. Would you guys maybe go multi-chain on the NFTs to have the collection maybe split between a couple different networks? Yeah, like again,
I think the strategy is because you can do this relatively cheap as well, and you would go onto BRC20s and do another token, and then the team could hold that token and then use that as rewards for holders. You could build within that and then bring some revenue back to ETH, or even have the ETH side as like a foundation with donations where people are getting their alpha, they're getting advice. Like you've got it structured in a way where this is the hub of things what build out, and it's just a donation based. The team are enabling people to build. Do you know what I mean? So it's sustainable.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's a topic that we'll be discussing later on the VCs as well. So, again, everything is transparent from us. We literally.
Yeah, I'm a community
build...
member. I'm a community member, and it's I can. You know what I mean? It's there for everyone, isn't it? So I have to say.
Exactly that. And literally, we are building and creating partnerships on our VCs. That's just how we want to do it. We want to change the game here. We don't want everything hidden. We just want people to realize that, if you've got a suggestion on the NFTs, the ordinals, and like which chains, multi-chains and stuff like that. We are literally creating a community where everyone has their input, and then I just go and seal the deal. But what you just said there, Maurice, about the ordinals and the multi-chains, and that is something that we've been discussing at the minute. Obviously, again, we've just been getting our feet into the ground, understanding the whole opcat code and what it can do. So yeah, it's some of the things that we've got going on is crazy.
President buzzes off anyone what's like passionate and puts the graft in. It's like everyone loves a trier, innit? That's the whole process. Like everyone's different, everyone's got different views and whatever. You don't need to be talking about politics and things like that. Everyone can just, it's positive vibes in it where everyone can level up. At the core of it, it's just a solid community where we know we've got a good narrative what can't be fudded. It just can't, you know what I mean? Because we're open to all sides. We're just want to fucking do things the right way. You know what I mean? With the essence of crypto in it.
Yeah. Exactly that. So yeah, that's definitely one conversation that we've been having today. And as soon as I get out of the AMA, we'll be touching on the things that you suggested with the ordinals, the NFTs. And as I said, we've been talking to the Mars CEO. I know I keep saying Mars CEO because I haven't got his name, but one of the things that we've been really interested in is the BVMs on top of the EVMs. So they are two of the main discussions that we've been talking about at the minute: the ordinals, the BVMs. And just to try and get to a better understanding, and hopefully I'll be able to get the Mars project owner over to the VC so we can actually explain it to us a lot clearer. Papa Stonks is in the chat as well, so we'll be getting him on VC hopefully, and talk more about the ordinal. So again, as we're so early, we're still trying to work out some clever ways on how to, get closer to the opcat code and re-enabling the discussions. And as you said, are we going to go on a multi-chain? Is it going to be BRC20? Is it going to be Ethereum? I think the vision deserves everything, right? So I think the multi-chain would be a good option because it brings everybody into the space. It doesn't matter if you're on Ethereum, Solana, or AVAX, or it's just, that's my biggest thing, is bringing everybody together. So it kind of makes more sense with my motto and what I'm trying to push. The multi-chain option. But again, it is just an early discussion that we've been having, and obviously we're getting some people in who are very clued up about it and taking their lead.
Now, that's another interesting thing. Like, do you guys plan on utilizing referrals in any way? Is there like a something that could make sense to maybe partner with it, like a BRC based project or an ordinal based project, and try and drive like volume or value into that chain via referrals, and maybe a percentage of the referrals that you guys get, you can utilize as revenue or put back onto the chart, allocate to holders, something like that.
Do you know more the approach is basically, because what it is, right? I'm sure President will agree with this, right? This is my view on it, yeah? If we do a deal where like money's involved straight away, right? It's kind of people, it's more difficult, isn't it? Because people, it's formed on like you're negotiating a deal where money's involved. But if people can, I don't know, we can basically give people the opportunity to build, and they know that the team will support them and the whole community supporting them. You're going to get like a stronger foundations, aren't you? If you know what I mean. It's a longer approach, but it's like you're having discussions where people can say, oh, actually, I know a dev, or a dev could listen and say, well, this could be my opportunity to build something because I know I've got a community. And it's like networking, isn't it? That way, it's like organic.
Organic is definitely the way to go. And again, that's kind of what I like about the narrative here with opcat, is it's not necessarily chasing the hype. It's not chasing a meta or going after volume on a chain. It's kind of like trying to set yourself apart and connect to the story of the roots of crypto, which to me, the narrative on that is definitely a lot stronger than what you see on some of these pet or meme narratives, right? So again, it's not, and maybe it's flashy because it requires some actual digging and learning, versus like, oh, founder's dog's name is this, ape it. Let's go.
Yep.
Right. So, I like it. Again, first time working with you guys as a group, but have really enjoyed the spaces we've done so far with Kid and Walt and, with Coin Merge, and the narrative is really, really strong in terms of like how it's embedded within kind of Satoshi's vision, right? So
Yep.
it's different, it's unique. Again, it's still kind of in the early stages, being that it's 2 weeks old. So you're still in your community identity, like kind of formation stage.
Yes.
Doing a good job though so far. And
I
yeah,
appreciate
like
it. Appreciate it.
I like the narrative. I think you guys could have some fun with it in terms of storytelling, spin-offs, shows, like a little series or comic strips and stuff. So yeah, you guys could even, like I said, I'll put you in touch with Meme Alliance if that's something that may
Yes.
be of interest.
Maurice,
Yeah.
Maurice,
Perfect.
I
What's
can
up?
tell I can tell like with this, it gets you thinking, and you thought about how many ways to monetize it yourself. Do you see how it's like even got you thinking? There's the opportunity, isn't there,
The
for everyone?
narrative's definitely really strong, and like just hoping community can get behind it, and it's not as easy to understand, right? But like there's ways you can have fun with a narrative like this that maybe you couldn't have fun with I mean, you can still do the same activities, but they're just not going to have the same depth to them. They're going to feel
Yeah.
shallow in a sense because
Yes.
yeah, like pet founder's name still can run, still can go to 100 million plus for sure. We've seen it like, I mean, on most chains, like these things happen, right? So
It's a
it's not
trend,
saying
isn't
that
it?
can't. Yeah, it is. You guys are kind of within the trend, but you're kind of on the outside of the trend. You're taking a more difficult approach to hitting on the trend than just, some of these projects. So again, first time working with you guys as a group, but I like the identification of the narrative. And if people can start to get behind it, who knows? Again, and you guys are still at a relatively low market cap for the narrative strength. So,
And
I like it.
and that's what gives everybody the opportunity, because you're all coming on a journey with us. And as I said, I'm creating partnerships at 6 months at a time. So it's a perfect opportunity. And obviously learn about the opcat code, come and judge the community, come and vibe, come and ask your questions, have some fun with the Power AI bot. And yeah, I'll just hope I can see everybody there and just discuss it, because I know people in here are sitting here going, opcat code, layer 2, did it, it's a lot to take in, but just it makes it so much easier to digest when you're in the community and everyone's just sharing their perspectives and visions. So yeah, definitely, if you could put me in touch with that person who's creating the game, that would be very, very, very interesting. And yeah, just hope to have everybody come over from your community and come and chop it up with us.
No, again, I could definitely put you in touch with Johnny. He's a great guy. I know they're for different communities to kind of talk to and learn about and see if it's a fit for the game. And yeah, just with the narrative, you guys can make your own little secret agent cat or something like that, Satoshi's cat, whatever you wanted to spin it off as. And I know, they're always looking for different characters to add in. But yeah, no, great AMA, guys. Really enjoyed getting to kind of meet you a little bit more in depth and chat about the project. And yeah, obviously, the narrative, I like it. Like it, obviously ideas come to my head when, we're talking about it, because it's different, right? I mean, personally, I'm kind of tired of the whole Pepe narrative, friggin' Polly forks it into pork, and now there's like 100 different pork narratives, even though like if you actually paid attention to the first CA that he launched, he rubbed 23 ETH, and then people are still going to support him. So like, I just don't have time for that kind of stuff, right? Which is why I often stay away from the memes and that kind of plays, because just seeing how people will buy into a play like that when there's not like there's proof on the blockchain, people just like don't give a shit. I'm like, that's why I don't really cater to memes, right? Because I'd rather get behind a utility project or something. But if the narrative is different and it's not like cookie cutter, it's exciting, right? And we see it takes time for these things to build. I mean, like I said, you never know when it could pop off. You never know when things could hit. But the fact that you're different and it's something that people can point to and identify and say, like, this is why they're different versus like, Pepe on Sol, Pepe on ETH, Pepe on BSC, Pepe on any chain. What's different? It's just different chain. And then you're going to be the 4th, 5th, 6th, 20th, 50th mover on that chain, right? Like, or you're going to add a 2 or a 0.5, in between or after your name, right? So that type of thing, good, can run. We know it can run. They still run sometimes. But personally, for me, when it comes to memes, I'm always looking for something that's a little bit outside the box from a narrative perspective. You guys have that. Again, you know, we never know how these things can go longer term, but the narrative I love. And yeah, I'm a narrative guy. So you never know how the chart will reflect it, because not everyone connects to the narratives. Like you said, not everyone wants to take the time to understand it. They'd rather just, you know, simply buy a random cat or a dog or a fish or whatever the animal of the day is on whatever chain is running hot. But a lot of the time, again, for me, this type of thing stands out. It takes a little bit more time to connect with, but you know, if you guys can keep pushing and the community stays, you're only 2 weeks old. So I'm excited for what you could do in the future. And, you know, the ideas definitely flow because it's a bit different than what I typically see. So yeah, probably why Walt liked it. I know a few other people had kind of bought in from a couple of those spaces that we've done that were on the panel. So yeah, I'll throw you the mic to just officially close out, but and then maybe pull in one or two community questions on the back end. But yeah, narrative is cool and it's still pretty early. So just jump in the community, do your research, guys. But I like what you're doing so far. And yeah, I like the narrative that you've built.
Yeah, I missed that last bit, Maurice. I'm having some serious problem with my signal.
No, I was just saying, like, excited to see you guys tomorrow. And just again, like, first time working with you, but I like the narrative. I like that it's different. And, you know, I hope people take the time to jump into the community, do the research, and just stay active as you guys continue to roll out updates. But I was saying it's only 2 weeks old around that date now. And it's kind of, it still makes me weirded out to say only 2 weeks old because I feel like we've been on so many spaces together. But yeah, no, just really appreciate the time, man. Love what you guys are building from the narrative side up. And yeah, if the community can stay active, and yeah, I'm excited to see. So again, guys, jump into their Telegram, check out the space we're going to do tomorrow, see, you know, what the community shows up like on some of those spaces, and just go from there. But you know, President and Jay, thank you so much, both of you, for jumping on the mic and kind of giving us some background and some alpha into what you're building over there at OpCat. And yeah, narrative's cool. I can't wait to see what our secret agent cat looks like in the future.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate your kind words. I'm having some serious problem with my signal, but I just made out the end of it. So, but I appreciate giving us the stage and talking about OpCat. And yeah, as I said, we're 2 weeks old. So come and join the journey with us.
I go to maybe Nita and Sue if they want to get a question in. I know Nita had sent one over to Buck. So maybe pull her and Sujay up here just for a couple quick ones. And we'll see what they got for us today, and then we can wrap up the call. But Nita, if you're up first, if your mic is ready, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Maurice. Exploring the technical aspects further, could you elaborate on any novel use cases or applications that the reintroduction of OPCAT might unlock for Bitcoin transactions, and how these potential functionalities align with the broader goal of scalability and security in the cryptocurrency ecosystem?
So, Jayla, if you can hear me, if you can take the mic and answer that question, because I'm having some serious problem with my signal.
Yeah, so as far as opcat, if you look at it, it basically allows the code to be changed in Bitcoin, some of the scripting systems, so it gives more flexibility, and it lowers the gas fees. And I can't say that, like, with any from a technical perspective, I'm not the person to ask it. And to be honest, like, even the team, we don't want to be in a position where we're trying to act like we know everything about it. It's more about getting people to ask questions. We all learning together on it. Do you know what I mean? Because we can't proclaim that we're experts at it for the fact that everyone's just doing their research. Do you know what I mean? And we can't even verify the sources, but we just know that from what we can see that it allows layer twos, scaling, it allows lower transactions, and there's people with connected to massive devs in the space what are trying to push this, because they know that this is what it's gonna. There's like 3 options. I don't know the other 2. I can get the information and put it in the TG, but there's 3 people and 3 strategies, and Opcat's one of them, and that will be it will be able to mean that obviously ordinals can trade and BRC20 with efficient gas, so Bitcoin can actually be truly used and within Satoshi's vision, Bitcoin can actually operate as with layer 2s, and then look at all of that builds out, because people can build on top of that to provide support. Like on BRC20s, they've even introduced like sats that minted out for 6 months, and then when that got launched, Unisat made it as a gas for their network. So it's just, I think if you get devs to dev, people are going to build, aren't they? And it's a way of building on Bitcoin decentralized with a network what can obviously be built upon within Satoshi's code.
Awesome. Hopefully that
Is
answered
it-
your question,
Yeah.
Nita. And I had another one. Sorry, I was just answering a couple in DMs throughout. So I got 2 answered, and then I got Sujay here with his hand up, and I'm gonna read out one more after his because I couldn't answer one of them. So I'll have to get one more read after. But Sue, if you want to take the floor, you could go next.
Yeah, thank you, Maurice. Hello, JLAT. Hello, President, if you can hear us.
I can just about hear you.
Okay, I feel you, man. I feel you. I've had those days when the network just doesn't let you. So, what prompted me to ask the question that I'm about to ask is the fact that throughout your presentation, I felt you focused more on the OP part and not the CAT part. Now, I know CAT means concatenation here. It's a technical term, but in your project, it probably adheres more to the CAT in the pictures that we see. But the way you spoke about the project, it feels like you are actually interested in the actual narrative of enabling opcat in Bitcoin, and not just going off of the hype and attaching it to a cat image and trying to see how far you can go with that. That's what I felt, at least. And if that's the case, then I think we have a project here that can be much more than just a meme project, right? Because opcat, if eventually it does get enabled through a soft fork, it has a lot of real world use cases. It has a lot of applications. And this discussion has been ongoing. This is not new. This has been ongoing for a long time. But just the fact that Bitcoin was, I think, initially designed to be a store of value, and Satoshi or people around Bitcoin did not want it to be any more complex than what it is, and it wasn't really looked upon as a blockchain where a lot of utility would be developed, right? So that's understood as to why things are disabled, but then because of these conversations, you had forks of the blockchain itself. For example, Bitcoin Cash, where the exact same opcat, the operation concatenation, is actually enabled. And it was enabled like 5-6 years ago, I think in 2018, right? And people have been using this function to build applications or improve upon applications. And there's a lot of different use cases. Some examples that come to mind are things like vaults, where I think you touched upon it earlier, where even if your seed phrase was to be compromised, the person hacking your wallet wouldn't be able to drain any of the funds because of the opcat code in there. You could also prevent multiple transactions, duplication of transactions using opcat if Bitcoin was to be used in a transactional utility or application. So where I'm going with this is, if you really feel strongly about the functionality that we're discussing here, and not so much the meme aspect of it, would you at some point, and I think this would depend on how much traction you get on the project, what kind of people you get into or you see in the Telegram space of yours. If you see a lot of, say, eventually, like 6 months down the line, if you see a lot of nerds, and I use the word nerds with a very positive connotation here, they're the people who get things done, they're the smart ones. So if you find a lot of those people, the smart ones, the developers, the nerds, in your Telegram, having actual discussions, would you then consider moving away from the meme narrative and actually organizing, say, contests like hackathon or dev contests where you invite developers who probably are used to coding in the forks, like Bitcoin Cash uses a very similar script to Bitcoin's, which is called Cash script. So people who can use Cash script and demonstrate how opcat can be used in an application, either to design a new application, a new use case, or improve upon existing applications. Would you sort of create an environment where you can have contests and competitions?
That's a brilliant idea.
That would transcend,
because
transcend your project to
this ties into where the project's constantly evolving as we're talking. And like earlier, we were going down the route of people actually building, because what prompted it was when my friend got in, he had been doing the research and he said people are ready to make big power plays actually doing opcat fully regulated and legit because they know the volume on the dexes is going to be so high. But the regulation means that it's slowing people down, and then they're one's going to succeed whichever gets regulated the fastest, and then it's the Bitcoin halvings, the catalyst, and then you've got the ETF, because that's going against Satoshi's vision, and it's causing the regulation is what slows things down, isn't it? So there's the opportunity for someone to build it out organically by having, like you said, you can even accelerate it by doing hackathons. But if someone builds that, you've got the perfect environment set up for everyone to play, because no one's having to put their name to it. You know what I mean? That could happen. And that's crypto, isn't it? No one knows who Satoshi is. Like, it only works because Satoshi, it's not when dev. That's the whole point of crypto, isn't it? It's like devs can dev, and if we can, like you said with that hackathon, set up that environment where devs can dev, it's a powerful thing, isn't it? Because the tech is there to actually to do it and build.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like we were saying, you don't even have to wait for the actual soft fork to happen, which might happen. Taproots happen, which enabled ordinals. So this could happen too. But even before it happens, you could use alternative scripting languages, which are very similar to Bitcoin scripting language, be it Litecoin, be it Bitcoin Cash, and demonstrate what is possible using this technology. So
because I thought what we said is we could have on the website, you could have donations, and you do it where you're giving people an environment, and if they were providing value, they can donate to the project, what will keep it sustainable. But it's creating an environment for everyone to win, everyone to be able to create value. And then, like I said, just everyone supports each other. It's an environment for people, how you should do it in life, isn't it? Everyone wins together. Like, everyone can level up together, everyone can create their own value.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have really enjoyed this conversation and your presentation. I joined the AMA thinking this is going to be just another meme project, but it has been so much more than that. And
you should honestly definitely get involved if you can. Even try and steer us in the right direction, and our graph, happily, because I feel it's a good direction as it evolves. Do you know what I mean? There's so many ways we can take this, and actually you can change lives with this, can't you? People can be doing really big stuff, and the timing with the catalysts and the background of what's going on, the narrative's super strong, and the meme side of it just alone, like we're a cat with a hat.
And I apologize for not speaking as much. My signal is crazy. I've got some mad storms going on, so I can only imagine it's that. But I appreciate your question. And Lat, thanks very much for stepping in there and answering. But yeah, come over and join the VCs. We're going to open up the VC after the AMA and love to see you all there and just fuel the discussion because, again, we're 2 weeks old and we are learning as much as everybody else is learning. So, yeah, definitely head over to the TG, head over to the VC. I'll be opening it up straight away after the AMA. Hopefully my signal's a lot better, so it's slightly embarrassing on my behalf, so I apologize to everyone. But yeah, it'd be good to see you, bro.
Yeah, definitely. You'll see me there.
Perfect.
And yeah, thank you so much. Cheers.
Perfect, bro. Thank you.
It's great, great back, guys. And again, you know, I probably have to wrap the AMA up. I know there's a couple hands. My phone's at like 2% battery right now, so I kind of, if I have to charge it, I'll have to take out my headset and do some stuff. So
no problem, bro.
Kind of wrap up, but no, the discussion has been really good. There's been some great kind of back and forth ideas, some takeaways for the team, which I love to see here from the community. So yeah, no, overall, I know it's still kind of, you know, jump in, do your research, all those disclaimers I put out, but you know, it's not just another, you know, hype or fly by night narrative. You know, take some time, check it out, join the community. But I do like the depth of the narrative here on the meme, and yeah, it's got some embedded roots within DeFi. So, you know, definitely check it out and do your research. But you know, from on behalf of Caesars, really enjoyed hosting you, and thanks for coming by, and thanks for kind of helping out with the readjustment of the AMA from yesterday to today.
No problem, bro. We appreciate everything you're doing. Caesar, you know, I've been following you both for a very long time. So, yeah, I appreciate everything you're doing in the space. And yeah, we'll be doing this again for sure. 100%. I'll just make sure that I'm in a better place with better signal. So I apologize for that.
Can't control the weather, so just happy to have you here. And yeah, just really appreciate the flexibility and everything from yesterday to today. Great discussion. Like, again, love the narrative here. You know, it's our first time working together, so I'm impressed by what you guys, you know, came together from a narrative perspective. Really kind of, it's unique, right? And for me, it's different. It stands out because it's different. So, you know, keep pushing, and yeah, I love the identification of what you launched. So yeah, keep it up. Good work. And you know, we will see you guys tomorrow, I guess would be the last one.
Yes,
Say to close it out.
And yeah, and I appreciate that. And Maurice, if you could put me in contact with that person and make that introduction, that would be great. I'm very interested in that. And yeah, thanks for everyone coming by. Sorry about the signal closing the show, but at least we had Lat here to fill you in for some information and answer some questions. As I said, if there's anybody in here who didn't have a chance to ask a question, come over to the VC, come and chop it up with us, come and vibe, ask your questions over there. You'll get to meet the whole community and the whole team behind it. So yeah, thanks very much, Maurice, Caesar. I really appreciate it.
The rest of your Saturday over there, man. And yeah, stay safe if you're getting a nasty storm.
Yeah, I'll be all right, bro. I'll be all right. Cheers.
That's for sure. Don't leave the home.
No, that's right.
Having a little bit of a cough and spout over here.
Take your time,
Take
bro.
a drink. It went down the wrong pipe after, you know, I was really dry after talking so much. And yeah, I apologize for that, guys.
No worries, brother. Thank you very much for having us on, Maurice. And yeah, again, anyone who wants to ask any more questions, head over to the TG and yeah, just come and vibe with us. Again, thank you very much, Maurice, and I'll let you close the show.
I'll see you guys tomorrow on Sunday. 12 p.m. Eastern is when we go live on the space with Kid and Walt. So yeah, I'll see you guys there.